At the beginning of the film, we see Max, whose life is completely ruined. He spends his days getting high and his nights painting graffiti on walls, paintings, pictures, and so on. To understand why his life turned out this way, we need to go back to his childhood. Max was a foster child, meaning a couple had adopted him. This couple had adopted other children as well. Among these children, the one most special to Max was a fighter. Even though they weren't related by blood, he was more than a real brother to Max. They couldn't live without each other. Then one day, they had to part ways because Max's stepbrother had to go to a college far away from the city for his studies. This made Max very sad. His brother reassured him that he would keep visiting, and that after 4 years, they would live together. "I will never leave you alone again." Hearing this comforted Max, but just a few days after his brother went to college, Max saw his parents crying because his brother had taken his own life. He had left a note saying he couldn't take it anymore, and this was the moment when Max's life completely changed. And because he was quite a good painter from childhood till now, he has been venting his anger by painting graffiti on walls. One night, Max was on the roof of a shop making graffiti when the police caught him red-handed. Instead of going to jail, Max was sent to a foster home where elderly people lived. He had to do cleaning work there, help them, and maintain good behavior, or else he would go straight to jail. When Max arrives at the foster home, he immediately notices an old man peeking out from an upstairs window. The workers explained all the work to him and strictly told him that going to the 4th floor was prohibited because serious patients were kept there, whose condition was very bad. The same 4th floor where Max had seen the old man peeking from the window. The next day when Max went to get his cleaning supplies, he found a statue that looked like a human. He playfully took out one of its eyes. Then he started his work, collecting trash from every room. Following the rules, he knocked on every door before entering, but there was no response from one room. So he went inside and saw an old man and woman wearing masks and behaving strangely. He didn't like this, so he quickly came out. A woman, Norma, came to him to take a towel. Max was new, so Norma started talking to him. Meanwhile, a lady standing in the pool suddenly started bleeding heavily from her head. It turned out she had undergone some skin treatment, and due to stretching, her skin had torn. Then at night, when Max was sleeping in his room, he heard many faint voices in his dream. Hearing these voices, he woke up. At the same time, he heard someone shouting loudly from inside the vent, which scared him. Then he saw that his room door was open, even though he had closed it before sleeping. His first day didn't go particularly well, so the next day everyone welcomed him warmly. Some of them were elderly residents. There was a manager, Norma, and 2 workers. Finally, Max met the doctor there, who complimented Max's eyes. That night when Max was asleep, the same masked lady came and lay down next to him, which woke Max up, and immediately after, the lady stabbed a knife into his stomach. At the same time, a man came and grabbed his neck, and just then he woke up. This time he was really awake. Now he couldn't sleep, so he started wandering around. During this, he saw an old couple dancing even at this late hour because it was their anniversary. As Max was leaving, he heard someone shouting from the vent again. Just then, Norma came to him and took him to her room. In the room, Max found a small cup lying around, which made him feel like he had seen that cup somewhere before. Norma told him that her friend had made it, who used to live there, but she died a few years ago. Then when he got back to work, he heard shouting from the vent again, and this time he couldn't stop himself. He started going up in the elevator, but he didn't have access to the 4th floor, so he took the stairs. He was already skilled at breaking door locks, so he easily opened the door and went inside. Inside, he saw many sick old people sitting in wheelchairs, with a TV turned on in front of them. They all looked completely dazed, sad, and lifeless. It was unclear what illness they had, but blood was dripping from their eyes as if they were crying tears of blood. The man Max had seen in the window was also sitting there, and upon seeing Max, he came shouting and lunged at him. They arrived just in time, otherwise who knows what would have happened. Max should have been reported for this. But this time the doctor explained it to him gently and said that there won't be another chance to explain next time. At night, Max meets Norma again and tells her everything about the 4th floor. But Norma says, given their condition, you can't do anything for them. Not just you, no one can do anything. But he was so stubborn that he went up again. This time, the man was standing in a corner, and as soon as Max approached him, he strangled Max with his intestines. Then everyone sitting there tore open their stomachs and pulled out their intestines. But the good thing was that it was just Max's dream. The next day, Max sees Norma arguing with the doctor and a worker. Seeing this, Max goes to talk to Norma, and she tells Max to leave as soon as possible. This place is not right at all. She can't say much more because someone arrives, forcing Norma to leave. But she had said something significant, which Max already suspected. He thought a lot about it, and finally went to talk to Norma again. But this time he couldn't because the nurse told him that Norma had been admitted because she wasn't feeling well. She was to be kept under observation that night. Max somehow got through that night. The next morning, while he was cleaning outside, he saw the same old man upstairs trying to write something with his blood after cutting his finger. But he couldn't write properly. Before Max could understand anything, Norma fell straight from above onto the barrier, and she died a painful death in front of Max. The doctor says that Norma took her own life. A note was found in her room, in which she wrote that she was going to meet her son, meaning she was going to die. After Norma passed away, Max was very sad because she was his only real friend here. Meanwhile, Max's nightmares were still ongoing. But that night, when he woke up, he found a UV light placed near the door. When he turned on the light, he saw a message written on the wall for him. Find the mark one, meaning find the marked person. As soon as he read this, Max started searching and first went to the manager's room, where he found an X mark on the manager's neck. This meant that the manager was also one of the Mark 1. Max started noticing that many people there repeatedly touched their necks, and whoever touched their necks, it meant they had the same mark. Some mark was made. Now Max secretly went to Norma's room. Looking for some clue, among Norma's belongings he found a half-finished painting made by her. That small cup and Norma's diary in which the last note was that Max must be told about the danger here. They come at night with their surgical things, needles, and dogs to change us. Is the next number mine or the manager's? From this, Max realized that the manager was also in danger. He quickly reached him and saw that the manager was pulling out his own teeth and was also starting to look like those sick people. Max quickly called for help, and the doctor treated the manager and cured him. If Max hadn't arrived, it would have been too late. Now Max decides that first, he will find out about the doctor. So he did some research on the doctor and found out that the doctor had been expelled from a hospital due to some dangerous eye surgery and therapy related to the age of the brain. Max was reading about him when suddenly a lot of notifications started appearing on his screen, along with which the software was downloaded, and a live telecast started. There was a girl in it whose face was in a very bad condition. The girl wanted to say something, but then the connection was cut, and once again, shouting started coming from above. To uncover the secret of this home, Max ordered many small cameras and hid them in many places one by one, whose footage he could see directly in his room. And there were some cameras that could identify marked people because perhaps their lives were in danger. Max also talked to the lady from the live stream, from which it was revealed that the same lady had placed the UV light in Max's room, and she could see Max, meaning his entire room. She didn't tell much because her own life was also in danger. She just said, "Help me, help them, help me and help them before they turn the others into monsters too." Norma had found out too much, so she was removed. "We will remove you too in the same way." That's all the information she could give. Now Max saw in the camera that the old man from the 4th floor had come out, and, after tampering with the camera a bit, he moved forward. Late at night, Max sees a man with a mark being taken to the basement, where another man with a dog is already present. Max quietly followed them down, but he couldn't see anything. He only realizes that the doctor is performing some kind of horrific surgery. Just then, the man with the dog spots Max, so he quickly runs back to his room. The lady from the live stream was already in the room. She tells Max that the government is using this place to test drugs on these old people. First, they test on animals, then on humans, and these old people are perfect for testing, because if there are any side effects, they can just blame it on their age and cover it up. There are many such homes across the country where this is happening. She says her dad used to stay in this home too, but now he's locked up on the 4th floor. I want to free him and everyone else, for which I need evidence, which only you, Max, can collect because you live here. After saying this, she starts to leave, but as soon as the door opens, the same old man comes in and attacks her. Max intervenes and gets pushed, causing him to lose consciousness. A worker tells him that a patient from the 4th floor came down and harmed him. But don't worry, the doctor will give you a thorough checkup today. Saying this, she goes to call the doctor, and as soon as she leaves, Max escapes from there. When he reaches his parents' house, he sees that they have adopted 2 more girls. Now Max's mom is asking about his well-being, and she uses the same line that Norma used to say, "A heart knows a heart." This means that Max's parents are somehow connected to that place. After this, both mom and dad go to meet the judge to ensure Max doesn't get a heavy sentence. And after they leave, Max starts searching the whole house but finds nothing. Then the 2 girls come to Max and want to tell him a secret they've been holding in their hearts for who knows how long. They took him to a secret room behind the wardrobe, which looked like some kind of ritual room. That is, where magic and such are done. And there was also the cup that Max has a small model of, the same Norma's cup. And the biggest thing is that there was a statue of a Roman goddess there. There was also an old photo album with pictures of people from the foster home, and surprisingly, Max's mom and dad were in them too. The photos looked like they were from a party where everyone was wearing black clothes, but in the middle was a young boy wearing white clothes. There was about a 3-year gap between each photo, but the people were the same and looked almost like the old pictures. That is, there was no difference in their age. They weren't getting old. But the boy sitting in the middle, seeing different children each time, it seemed like they had become lifeless and their life had been drained from them. So here it is revealed that the people of the foster home are connected to a cult, a satanic form that worships the Roman goddess to stay young. Every few years, they take the life of a young child. Max got the real shock when he found out that his stepbrother was also among those children. He hadn't taken his own life. Rather, his mom, dad, and the others had sacrificed his life too. In fact, his mom and dad adopt children so that when they grow up, they can drain their youth. And the same is going to happen with the 2 new girls. But Max thought he wouldn't let this happen and went straight to that home. Then he went to the 4th floor and came to the old man because he had realized that the old man was none other than his brother. His brother hadn't attacked him that day but was trying to save him. All the patients locked on the 4th floor are the same young children whose youth has been drained. Now they are in such a condition that their life is over from the inside. They have become old at a very young age. They can't even speak. That's why his brother was trying to write with his blood that day. Now, before Max could do anything for them, a worker comes and catches him. Then when he opens his eyes, he finds himself sitting among those people in white clothes. That means it's his turn to go to the 4th floor. Now it turns out that the things the live stream woman told were all lies because she was the doctor's wife here. That means the government testing story is false. There is no marked one, and now we know how they all stay young. It means they look old, but their age isn't increasing from here. They've been like this for many years. Some are 109 years old, some 114, some 128, and some 193. Now, to stay young, they need the nectar from these children, which is a large liquid behind the eye. It is considered the source of youth, which decreases with age. That's why these people extract nectar from the eyes of young children to stay young. Since Max came to this home, nectar has been extracted from his eyes every night without him even knowing. That's why he was waking up suddenly every night, and the dreams he was seeing weren't dreams but memories. They keep extracting nectar like this slowly. But when their enjoyment is complete, or if the child discovers their reality, they extract all the nectar at once, draining the child's energy, life and youth, leaving them lifeless and old. Then they rot on the 4th floor and a new child comes in. Generally, they feed on the same child for many years because nectar keeps regenerating in young children. The doctor extracted almost all the nectar from his eyes and sent him upstairs. And now they will keep extracting a little nectar repeatedly, just like they do with everyone else. That's why blood keeps coming out of their eyes. But Max's brother won't let it come to that. He broke a wire from his wheelchair and used it to pierce the eyes of every child present there, collecting their nectar. Then he gave all that nectar to Max, bringing him back to life, stronger than ever. Now there was a storm outside and one inside Max. As soon as the worker came upstairs, Max attacked repeatedly and killed her. Then he picked up tools and wreaked havoc there. Whoever came in front of him met a dangerous death. One by one, he killed them all. His parents were trying to escape, but due to being caught in the storm, they also died. After killing them all, he extracted nectar from their eyes and fed it to the people on the 4th floor, freeing them all. Then he left with his brother. Now, those who did bad deeds were killed, and these people, though they may look old, will become young inside like before. And with this, the film ends here.